hopefully we've done some empathy there. We've gotten into the heads of our digital workplace users. We've created our stories. The next piece is to do some definition. And when we say definition, in this case, we're talking about how do we make sure that we have the right short list in place. And so this is where it's also a little tricky, and a lot of mistakes are made. It's very tempting to go out there and figure out and try to figure out who are the leaders, the best vendors in certain areas. People Google best collaboration tools all the time, best internet tools, best anything, and again, that's not going to get you to where you want. And part of the problem, again, there's so many options. And so many options that where these lines are so blurry between community tool or a document sharing, file sharing tool, document management tool, CMS. It's really blurry. And as analysts, we spend our days trying to put boxes in circles around things and try to make sense of this world. But as a buyer, it's really hard to figure out, even among the vendors that say they're one thing, they might not actually be able to execute on those things. They're just trying to get ahead of the marketing wave. So again, I don't want you to just look at single snapshot views of marketplaces. Now, I'm beating up on my analyst brethren here, but these diagrams and charts of the marketplace, they have a purpose. But when you're coming up with your short list, if you just look at the upper right-hand quadrant, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice. Have seen some of the most successful projects I've ever witnessed of a vendor that was down here being the absolute best fit for a certain scenario. And if they hadn't looked at that, if they had only looked in the upper right, they would never have considered this vendor, and that would have been a shame. Instead, as an alternative to that single snapshot view, I want you to turn your attention upon yourselves and figure out and ask yourselves, what are you trying to do? Now, I'm going to use collaboration as a use case here and talk through this. But when we talk about something like collaboration technology and helping your organizations collaborate better and helping your users collaborate better in your organization, that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So, people at this conference, knowledge-based management tends to be very rigid and structured, while enterprise networking is not rigid and structured and is a very different model than something like a knowledge base. And there's lots of gray areas in the middle where you're talking about external collaboration versus project collaboration, community type collaboration, innovation support around products and whatnot, social Q&A. So I want you to say, what is it, when we look at our own digital workplaces, what are we trying to do? Think about it from an application standpoint. And then I want you to go find products that were fundamentally built to solve those applications that you've identified as important to you. So as an alternative, I can tell you when we're working with our clients, we use something that we built called Real Quadrant Tool. And here what we have kind of automated, it was saying, all right, tell us what's most important to you, rate it, give it some weightings, and we'll match it up to some analysis that says these products were fundamentally built to solve these challenges, okay? And we found that sales teams and marketers from vendors, they'll say that they're good at everything. But when we do some digging, and we've done this, we've been around for 18 years doing this, and what we found is that vendors out there can usually say that they're really pretty good at about 3 of these different use cases. No one's good at all of them, right? And every vendor has a different 3 things that they were built to solve. And if you can align yourself with ones that were fundamentally built with your use cases in mind, your chances of success are going to be much, much, much greater.